If your hair is always dry, no matter the product you use or how much product you use, then this video is for you. Hey and welcome to another video on the channel, and if you are new, hit the subscribe button below and join the circle because you do not want to not be here. Today I'm going to be talking about dryness, and I know that it's a problem that plagues a lot of us in the natural hair community. You deep condition, you moisturize, you seal, you lock, you throw away the key, and your hair is still dry, then your problem may not be product application, it might be moisture retention. There are some things that you might be doing consciously or unconsciously that is making your hair to lose moisture fast. You moisturize today, it's dry tomorrow. You moisturize now, it's dry in 2 hours. You're not understanding what is going on. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that would help you to retain more moisture and keep dryness at bay. Dryness is about to be a thing of the past in your hair, okay? Make sure you watch this video to the end to get all the juicy gems. Without further ado, let's get started. My number 1 tip is protective styles. I know that so many people have told you this thing: protective style this, protective style that, protective style, but they don't really give you the breakdown. They don't really tell you how protective styles are supposed to help you retain moisture, because if you don't understand how, if you don't understand the purpose, then you're not going to do it well. So now the thing about protective styling is that, you see, when your hair is out in an afro, if you just leave your hair to be free and flying, your individual strands, it's easy for your individual strands to lose moisture because it's just one individual strand. There's nothing blocking it, there's nothing wrapping it. It's easy for the moisture to just come and be going. But if your hair is in a protective style, let's say your hair is in mini twists, if you've seen the process of doing twists, you see that you are rolling the hairs together, you are rolling the strands of hair together. So once they are together like that and they are compact, it is not as easy for the moisture to evaporate from your strands. It's not as easy for moisture to be lost to the environment. Think about your wash days. If you leave your hair to air dry in an afro, it gets dry like really quickly. But if immediately after you wash your hair, you put your hair straight into chunky twist while it is still wet, you notice that it usually takes a longer time to dry when it is in chunky twist rather than when you just leave it out in an afro to dry. So that's basically what protective styles help you to do. Now, the protective styles that do this the best are mini twist and mini braids. These two protective styles, if you do them, your moisture retention is going to shoot upwards. I have a whole video about how mini twists help you to make your life easier in this natural hair journey. I'm going to link it in the description. But basically, because of the nature of these hairstyles and how they wrap your hair strands together, they prevent moisture loss, and they also make it really easy for you to re-moisturize your hair. So it allows you to keep your hair in a protective style for longer, which means you're not manipulating your hair for however long you are keeping the mini twist. But you can still take proper care of your hair while it is in mini twist. So it's like it's just perfect. So mini twist, mini braids, cornrows and flat twists are good too, but they usually get rough really quickly, and once they get rough, you start looking like a rat. But with mini twists and mini braids, as they are getting rough, they are looking finer. So if you are somebody that is battling with dryness, you're not all that like adventurous with your hair, you're not always switching from style to style to style, then I think you should consider mini twist, mini braids. They are really going to help out, not just with the dryness, but also with other things like length retention and just keeping up with the general health of your hair and helping your hair to, you know, grow longer. My second tip would be to embrace your satins. What I mean by embrace your satins is that, first of all, it's very important that you have your satin bonnet, satin scarf, or satin pillowcase and your satin scrunchies and all that. But my major point here is that a lot of the time we associate that using of a satin bonnet to going to bed. So at night, you've done your nighttime skincare and you're about to go to bed. That's when you put on your satin bonnet and then you go to bed. But then you don't realize that throughout the day, you've laid down on your couch, which is most likely not made of satin or silk. You've laid down on your bed randomly. Maybe you wanted to just press one for a few minutes, and before you get back to work, we've all been there. You don't realize that all those little things that you do here and there, that quick 30-minute nap where you didn't remember to put on your satin bonnet because it's not nighttime, or that quick lay on the couch because you wanted to get comfortable as you were pressing your phone or editing your video or whatever. Those little instances are avenues for moisture loss. All of them have snatched up little bits of moisture from your hair throughout the day, and then at night when your hair is probably already dry, you put on your satin bonnet, and then tomorrow morning you are wondering why your hair is dry. What I do is I work remotely, so it doesn't quite matter what my hair looks like during the day. I put on my satin scarf or my satin bonnet, and that is usually how I am throughout the whole day, almost every day. It's only if I want to go out, maybe I want to go to the market or go to the supermarket, then I would now take off the scarf and then go my way and then come back and then put the scarf back on, because I'm in the house, nobody's looking at me. So what's the point of having my hair outside? What's it doing outside? Nothing. So I normally keep my satins on during the day. I understand that wearing a satin bonnet all day can get really uncomfortable, so a lot of the time I just like to use like a satin scarf and just do like a head wrap where all my hair would be forward wrapped around with a satin scarf. So if I do lie down, it's still the satin scarf area that is touching the bed or touching the couch. So I think that is also one very important thing that people don't realize, and it also stems back to protective styling. If your hair is in a protective style, it's not all out, when you put on your bonnet, there will be a lot of space within the bonnet because your hair is in a protective style, so it may not be as hot as when you put a bonnet over your wild and free afro. Very important. Be conscious when you are around the house, be conscious where you lay your head even during the day. And if you can't bother to be so conscious all the time, you can just put on a satin scarf or a satin head wrap or a bonnet or whatever. Just cover your hair when you are indoors. My third tip is to always use a shower cap when you are showering. Now, I know this tip is not very common, but when you have done the painstaking process of moisturizing your hair, putting in all the products, doing all the doings, and then you want to go and take a shower, you don't use a shower cap, water from the shower can erode some of the products that you have already put in your hair, leaving those parts that it has touched susceptible to getting dry. Now, you may not notice this immediately because those areas of your hair will be wet and you feel like, oh, it's just extra moisture, it's fine. That water would have eroded some of the products that were actually meant to keep your hair moisturized for a longer period of time. And then once you come out of the shower, that water that you thought was moisturizing your hair, was providing extra moisture, is going to evaporate. There is a reason why we don't just moisturize our hair with regular water anymore. We have to use like leave-in conditioners and all that, because the moisture from leave-in conditioners are more reliable and more long-lasting than just regular water. If you were going to be moisturizing your hair with only water, you probably have to be spraying your hair water like every 2 minutes. But with leave-in conditioners, the moisture can last a lot longer than just water. So when the water from your shower erodes your products from your hair, like it washes away some of the products from your hair, and then the water that replaces the products evaporates, that particular patch of hair is going to be dry. So to just avoid all that, it's best to shower with a shower cap when you want to shower. I know that this point may not make sense to everybody, but it's something that I have noticed around my edges and all the sides of my hair. I noticed that those areas used to get really dry really quickly, and then I started taking my shower cap a lot more seriously, and since then I've noticed that things have improved and my hair is not as dry around those areas anymore. That's not to say that a shower cap is like a fail-safe method, because I can't count the number of times I would take off my shower cap and my edges would still like be wet, but it reduces the amount of product erosion that occurs, so my hair can retain moisture for longer. Tip number 4 is watch your sun exposure. Now, if you remember my second tip where I was like, when you are indoors, you have to make sure that you protect your hair in some way. That would mostly apply to people who are indoors most of the time, probably people who work remotely. But if you are someone who is very outdoorsy, you go out a lot, then sun exposure is something that can also affect how your hair loses moisture. Naturally, the sun is drying. That's why when you wash clothes, you go and spread it outside in the sun so that it can dry. Sun also tends to dry out your skin as well. You know, if the sun can dry out your skin, dry out your clothes, then who is your hair? Your hair standeth not a chance. If you are going out in the sun, you can put on like a head wrap or a satin scarf and just tie that till you get to where you're going. On days where you know that you spent a lot of time in the sun and everything, when you come back, it's important to reintroduce moisture back into your hair. There's nothing you can do about how the sun dries your hair. The sun is the sun. You can't touch it, you can't change it, you can't reduce the volume. But what you can do is, on days where you know that sun beats you today, when you come back home, make sure you reintroduce moisture to your hair. You can apply just your leave-in conditioner. You may not need to go through the whole LOC or LC or whatever method you use to moisturize your hair. You can just reapply your leave-in conditioner. Or if you have a hair mist, and this one is the most perfect solution, if you have a hair mist, you can just take a small amount of your hair mist into your small spray bottle, or if the hair mist is available in a travel size, you can buy the travel size hair mist and just keep it in your bag. When you get to where you're going, just sharply touch up, and then you come outside and your hair is shining, it's moisturized, it's soft, it's luscious. My fifth tip is to air dry more than you blow dry. There are some times where you're in a hurry, you need your hair to dry quickly, and then you go ahead and blow dry your hair, and that's fine. There are some people that blow dry their hair every single week and it seems to not be affecting them. That's all right. But if you are somebody that is battling with dryness, I would advise that for now, at least for now, just pack down your blow dryer and go and keep it somewhere. Because at least according to my experiences, a lot of the time I blow dry my hair when I'm trying to achieve a specific style, and once I'm done achieving that style, I've done my content, I've taken my pictures, I introduce moisture back into my hair and let it air dry from there. Blow drying basically removes all the water in your hair, removes everything. So if all the water in your hair is gone, really what is left? Oil does not moisturize your hair. Oil is drying, and that means your hair is dry, like not just dry like there's no water, it's dry. It's dry. So like all the moisturizing that you just moisturize has gone. For you that is battling dryness, I would suggest, I would advise, because if somebody is trying to tell you what to do now, you start saying, don't tell me what to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just offering advice, suggestion. Maybe for now, just keep that blow dryer one side first. Let's deal with this dryness problem. Let's see where it's coming from, because you never know, it could possibly be that blow drying that you're blow drying that is making your hair to always be dry. If you must blow dry, let it be maybe in a state of emergency, like you really need your hair to dry really quickly. And even in those situations, at least you know when you are going out, so you can plan ahead. What I normally do is, if I have somewhere to be on Saturday and I want my hair to look a certain kind of way, I would have washed my hair, let's say on Thursday, so that it will air dry Thursday, Friday. By Saturday, no way, it would have calmed down, it would have stretched. If it's that you blow dry your hair in order to stretch it, there are so many other ways that you can use to stretch your hair. You can use scrunchies to band your hair. You can use archless hair ties to band your hair. You can do twists, you can do braids. There are so many ways. You can do bantu knots to stretch your hair. So those are the 5 tips that I have for you today. Let me know if you have any questions. I have another video where I talked about moisture retention, and I gave some other tips in that video as well, so make sure you check it out. It will be linked in the description, and I'll see you in my very next video. Until then, bye.